If you're watching this video, you are probably sitting there with a feeling deep inside of your soul, your stomach, that whatever you're doing is wrong. It's not for you, and you're trying to find an excuse for quitting. In this video, I'm gonna give you just that. Because quitting is such a superpower. If you are able to just sense when something isn't for you and having the courage to then just say, it's okay, I've learned, I've tried, and then you're moving on to the next thing, that is really the recipe for a happy and successful life. And I'm gonna go more into this bullet point by bullet point and show you why quitting is not for losers, but for winners with my own examples, because let me just start with this. So I was done with school in June, and I had for over a year, saved money, told everyone that I was gonna travel a lot and just live my life, be free. And, I was open, like maybe I would live in another country after a while and just start my life there. That was what I was thinking. I sold almost all my furnitures and stuff. I had the little things I had left at my parents' place and lived there for a while before I started to go to Italy. And I was there for 2 months, guys. I was there for 2 months and I had a good time. But pretty early on, I kind of just had this feeling like, I don't know if this is for me, okay? And spoiler alert, I am back in my home country, Norway. I've gotten a new apartment. I moved. Everything is like a chaos, but I feel so good. And I feel like I'm at the right place. And this is like an important lesson for everyone. And the thing I want to start with is just to talk a little bit about just the fear of starting new stuff, like the uncomfortable feelings you are going to feel in the beginning when you start to do something new because you haven't done it before, and when things just feel wrong, because there's a huge difference. Because number one, like whenever you try something new, your brain is gonna think like, oh, I haven't done this before, I don't know if it's scary, I don't know if it's gonna kill me, like I don't know, it's just how your brain works. It's just what it does, and you're just gonna feel like it's uncomfortable. You don't wanna do it. And I knew that because I kind of love that feeling. I kind of have learned myself to really just have this dance with that feeling. And it's kind of something that makes me feel alive when I just widen my comfort zone and just make it bigger. And you're just like, yes, I did something that I never thought I would do. That's an uncomfortable, oh no, maybe you have a little bit of a breakdown. I did that before because I've also traveled before and worked as a model. And I just remember the first week, I'm always a little bit crying, I want to go home, blah, blah, missing home. It was just like that every time. But then after a while, you feel like you're just mastering it and just yes, this is so cool. So that's number one. But the feeling I got on this trip was different because I thought by traveling and just seeing things that would be the ultimate freedom for me to not have a home and just to travel wherever I wanted to. I have a job where I can work from everywhere, right? So I had been planning for the longest time to just travel and see different places, meet different people, and just be free. But what I understood after a while is that I kind of hadn't really defined what freedom was for me, because when you're traveling, you are seeing a lot of stuff, you're meeting a lot of people, and it's really fun and giving you a lot of new experiences, right? But there's also this freedom with having habits, with having one place where you can just work on your art, where you can just build a routine if you're into fitness, if you want healthy foods or whatever. It's a freedom in that routine which is going to bring you success, right? And it's also this freedom with having your own space where you can store stuff and really just be in your creative flow. that's another kind of freedom that I didn't really think about before. And I kind of started to miss that when I was traveling, because I felt like I was doing all of the stuff, all of my time, it went to seeing stuff, and I didn't do anything of my creative work, which is what I really love and is a way for me to express myself. Yes, I made YouTube videos here and I think that's super fun, but you know, it's just limited how much you can use on that, in my opinion, when you go to place to place to place. I just really start to feel that, and the feeling that came with that was, I think I had a little bit of a grief period, because when you have set your mind to something for so long that you're gonna do a certain thing, and I told everyone that I was gonna be gone and just like sayonara and have this cool and amazing life, and then suddenly I start to realize that, oh shit, I don't think this is right for me. And one part of me could have just like continued to travel just because that is what I said I was gonna do, but the other part of me started to understand, oh, I think I might need to move back and find myself a place where I could just be creative and also meet my friends, because that's also one thing. It's so cool to meet new people at different places when you travel. I love that, but it's also for a really limited time period. People come, people go, but you don't really have time to build on those relationships. And in many ways, I felt like I started to build these friendships, but then they were gonna leave, and I was just like, okay, I didn't really get anywhere here. So it was just a bunch of different things, and that just led to me in the end deciding that after those 2 months, I was gonna go back and just try to see if I could find an apartment. And I knew that like the rental market was pretty tough and hard, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna live with my parents for a while and just save some money. That was what I thought, and I was comfortable with that. And then you might think, that seems like such a failure to have been like building up for so long that you were gonna do all of these things and then deciding to go back. Well, you can say that, but that is not what I believe. And in the end of this video, I hope that you're also gonna sit with that feeling that no, to actually quit, to decide that you're gonna back out and try something else, actually is a superpower and something that's gonna just make you into a stronger person, and really it's just gonna make you into the person that you want to become with the life you are dreaming of. So reason number 1, you never know before you have tried something, right? You might have a lot of thoughts before doing something, before you try it, but you never actually know how it's gonna be before you are there. And that's also like when you're dating someone, you know, you just think about a person like before you actually know them. Like you just think they're cute, and then you make up this like imaginary person in your mind, like, oh, that's how that person is and how our relationship is gonna be, but you don't know before you get to know that person and it's actually in a relationship with them, right? It's the same thing. You never know before you have tried it. And if you go in with the mindset that you always need to complete something before you can move on to the next thing, and that you need to complete it if you are starting on it. You know, if you go in with that mindset, it's gonna be such a huge step to take before you try something new. It's gonna really just narrow your world, and you're just not really gonna figure out who you are, and you're gonna miss out on a lot of things if you don't dare to admit to yourself that you could actually not finish this, and that is okay. If you can just learn that it's okay to just step back, that you don't need to finish everything you start, and that is actually the best thing. Because, okay, let's say I love this story, I heard it some years ago, and I love just like watching YouTube videos or podcasts or interviews of older people, because I feel like they have so much wisdom and knowledge. And I just remember it was this dude who was a lawyer all of his working life, and he was asked, what is the thing in your life that you regret the most? And his answer was that he was going into law school and he was like 1 year in, and at the end of the year, he really felt like, I don't think this is for me. But he had already put in 1 year of his life for this education. So he just thought, you know what, I might just finish it, just to have a degree. So he did that. He used 5 years of his life to finish this law degree. And what happened when he was done with the law degree? He was like, okay, now I've used 5 years of my life to become a lawyer. What a waste if I don't become a lawyer. So guess what he did? He became a lawyer, and he was that for his entire working life, and he didn't really enjoy it because he felt like it was more painful for him to not complete something that he had started on, that he just used his whole life on this thing that he didn't really enjoy. And this could have just been 1 year of his life, and he could have kept going and tried something else. But no, he was like, I started, then I need to finish. But what happened in the end? He was regretting it. It was the biggest regret of his life. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you can't admit to yourself that the choice you took might not be for you, that it wasn't quite what you imagine it to be, then it's really not gonna be the best possible life you could have lived. If it's one thing that we don't want, is to sit at the end of our life and just regretting all the things we didn't try out because we were too afraid to try it, because then we knew we needed to complete it. But did we? No, it's all in our mind. Like, okay, you might disappoint your parents or the people around you, the society. Who cares? The thing is that you are living your life for you. You are living your life to be happy. That should be your mission. And how do you know what makes you happy if you don't try different things? So this brings me to number 2. And that is, if you learn to not be afraid of failing, if you learn to not take it as a hit, if things wasn't really what you expected it to be, or that you don't really like it, or you feel like it wasn't for you, that failing is not a weakness, it's a sign of strength, that you don't need to complete everything you start, and that it's okay to try things and just find out that, okay, that wasn't for me, even though I chose to try it and have certain ideas on how it was gonna be, and it wasn't like that. It's okay. I'll just take it as learning and I will move on. If you just learn to have that kind of mentality and mindset towards life, you're going to become unstoppable. Trust me, because when everything is just learning for you, life becomes so much smoother, and you don't need to have that inner perfectionist who's like, no, I need to be best in everything, or no, I don't dare to try that because I don't think I'm gonna be good at it right away. Shocker. Nobody is good at something the first time they try it, or maybe the first 5 times they try it. Nobody is a world champion. You need practice, you need to learn things before you master it. And maybe what you learned is that it's not for you, you don't enjoy it. Well, then you know, and you can move on and you can find and try something else that actually gives you joy. Like for me, I remember for 3 years I played handball. It's kind of a huge thing in Norway, handball. And I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. And I'm serious, like in those 3 years when I played handball, I did not manage to score a goal in 3 years. I did not like it. I didn't feel like I mastered it. I was kind of afraid of the ball. It was not for me. But I think I just did it because everyone did it and my friends did it, and I kind of felt like it was more of a social thing, but I just knew it wasn't for me and it didn't really bring me happiness. But if I was like, okay, I need to finish whatever I started, I need to not disappoint anyone or feel like an outcast or whatever, if I had just kept going, do you think I would learn to love it after 3 years not scoring a single goal? I don't think so. So I decided to just okay, bye guys, this is not for me, I'm gonna quit. And then I just decided to go all in with my dance lessons instead, and I just loved it. I danced a little bit before also why doing handball, and I kind of knew like I really enjoy being on stage and just expressing myself. So I just like took more dance classes, and you know what, life was a lot smoother after that, to be honest. And this was when I was pretty young, so she knew what she wanted from a young age. But either way, from that little story, it's just like, just to not feel embarrassed, just to not feel like a failure just because you quit something is something really, really important and a superpower and a good skill to have. Because also, when you just keep trying, when you keep moving on, you can't really ever fail because, as I said, everything is learning. So it's not failing, you just keep on rolling and finding your inner passions and what you like, and that is what ultimately gonna create the best life for you. This brings me to the third point, and that is when you dare to quit something that you feel like is not right for you, you're going to open so many new doors. This is a classic. Whenever that has happened in my life, when I've just chosen to let's just like close this chapter, every time something else has appeared, okay? Because then you have more room, you have more time to let other passions or activities or jobs, I don't know if it's the job you're thinking about quitting, I don't know, but new opportunities will appear and new doors will also open because you are in the mindset that it's okay to quit. It's okay to fail. It's just a part of the learning. You dare to try new things, and when you dare to do new things, try new things, be at new places, then the opportunity will come to you. And it will not if you are just keeping in the same thing, doing the same thing every day, doing whatever, and you don't like it, you don't put yourself in new environments, nothing is going to happen. And you're not gonna evolve, you're not gonna grow, and you're not gonna create the life that you love. So yes, I know it's hard. I know it can be embarrassing or feel like you have disappointed anyone by quitting or not finishing, but the most important thing is that you don't disappoint yourself. And by just doing stuff all the time that you don't really like, but you're just doing it to finish it, to like just keep your word or to just do something, but you know it's wrong, you are really not stepping up for yourself. You're not really stepping up for the person you want to be or your dream life. You're just gonna be disappointed at the end of your life because you didn't live up to your full potential. You didn't dare to fail. But when you have this mindset that it's okay to fail, or it's okay if it doesn't work out, if you have that mindset, you can play around a lot more loosely in your life. It's not that serious. It's okay. It might feel like shit now. It might do, but then you're gonna be so grateful when that new door opens and you see, wow, if I hadn't quit doing that thing, this would never had appeared for me. And trust me, you're gonna be so happy then and so proud of yourself today that you quitted, that you made space for that new thing, that you had that open mentality for change, and just make your future self proud and do the thing that you need to do today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That is how other people also find the video and get the knowledge, and maybe they are then going to be able to take the step to towards their dream. So give it a thumbs up, and if you're still here and you have still not subscribed, what are you doing? You are obviously enjoying this, and I post videos like this every single week. So to not miss out on any future videos, just subscribe. Do yourself a favor, okay? And if you like this video, I know that you're gonna love this video right here. So I'll see you there.